power over others starts with mastery over yourself. The Stoics knew that the key to influence wasn't manipulation but self-control. When you harness this principle, you naturally command respect and admiration. Women are drawn to men who embody strength, not through domination, but through self-assuredness and clarity of purpose. In this video, you'll uncover 7 Stoic-inspired strategies to gain power in your relationships, ways to command attention, respect, and even desire without ever asking for it. Watch until the end to unlock all 7, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your story in the comments. Let's dive straight into it. Chapter 1. Control your fear of losing her. Fear is a weakness, and nothing kills attraction faster than the fear of loss. It creeps in silently, subtly influencing your actions and undermining your confidence. When your behavior is driven by the need to keep her, you surrender your power. This fear, whether spoken or unspoken, communicates insecurity, and women instinctively pick up on it. Over time, they may subconsciously lose respect for you, or not because of who you are, but because of the energy you project. The Stoics understood this deeply, teaching the importance of accepting what lies beyond our control and focusing only on what we can influence. Clinging to someone out of fear isn't love, it's dependence. This dependence creates an emotional imbalance where your happiness becomes tethered to another person's actions or decisions. Such attachment leads to desperation, and desperation is never attractive. Women are naturally drawn to strength, stability, and confidence, but fear erodes all of these qualities. To regain your footing, you must identify the root of this fear and transform it into something productive. Instead of fixating on keeping her, redirect your energy toward living a life of purpose. A purposeful life is one driven by your own passions, goals, and values, independent of anyone else. Purpose gives you direction and reinforces your sense of self-worth. When you shift your focus inward, you reclaim your power. This shift isn't about becoming cold or detached. It's about building a foundation of self-assurance that doesn't rely on external validation. The truth is, if she chooses to leave, your life doesn't end. You are not defined by her presence or absence, and accepting this reality is liberating. It removes the unnecessary pressure to constantly prove yourself or maintain her interest through excessive effort. This mindset not only protects your dignity and self-respect, cornerstones of true confidence, but paradoxically makes you more desirable. Confidence is rooted in self-reliance, and self-reliance is deeply attractive. When you demonstrate that you are complete, whether she stays or goes, you send a powerful message: you value her, but you don't need her to validate your worth. This creates a sense of balance in the relationship, where both partners are equals, not one person chasing the approval of the other. Women are drawn to men who have their own lives, their own ambitions, and their own inner strength. When you embody this, she sees that being with you is a privilege, not a necessity. You're not trying to hold her captive with fear or obligation. You're inviting her to share in a fulfilling and enriching journey. This invitation, free of pressure, is incredibly compelling. Making this mindset shift takes effort, but it's worth it. Start by examining the areas of your life where fear has taken root. Are you prioritizing your own goals, or have you put them on hold to maintain the relationship? Are you showing up as your authentic self, or are you constantly adapting to meet her expectations? The more you focus on living with purpose and authenticity, the less room there is for fear. Ultimately, control over your fear of losing her lies in embracing the idea that your worth is intrinsic. It doesn't depend on anyone else. By living a life that excites and fulfills you, you naturally become more confident and attractive. Confidence doesn't come from convincing her to stay, it comes from knowing that you'll thrive whether she's in your life or not. When she sees that you are a man who is self-sufficient, driven, and unshaken by the possibility of loss, she'll recognize your strength. And strength, paired with purpose, is irresistible. She won't feel obligated to stay, she'll be inspired to stay, and not because she has to, but because she truly wants to. Chapter 2. The Abundance Mentality. Power comes from knowing you have options. The Stoics taught that scarcity is often an illusion, one we create by narrowing our perspective. We trap ourselves into thinking there's only one path to happiness, one opportunity to succeed, or in this case, one person who defines our worth. This limited mindset can lead to unnecessary suffering and insecurity, especially in dating. Attaching all your emotional value to one woman makes you vulnerable, needy, and ultimately less attractive. Developing an abundance mindset is the antidote to this trap. It starts with recognizing that the world is full of possibilities, and you are the one who determines your value, not someone else. There are countless amazing women out there, each unique in their own way. By clinging to just one, you not only limit yourself, but also undermine your sense of self-worth. This scarcity-driven mindset is a form of self-sabotage, keeping you in a state of dependency and fear. When you internalize this truth, something powerful happens. You stop fixating. You stop putting unnecessary pressure on a single interaction or relationship. Instead, you begin to carry yourself with confidence and ease, knowing that you are not dependent on any one person to feel complete. This shift is not just about pretending to have options, it's about genuinely believing that your life is full of opportunities for connection, growth, and happiness. Desperation is the enemy of attraction. When you cling too tightly, people feel it, and it pushes them away. Desperation creates tension, and that tension is palpable. It signals to others that you're operating from a place of lack rather than fulfillment. On the other hand, when you adopt an abundance mindset, you radiate confidence and composure. You're no longer trying to chase or impress because you know you don't need to. That inner peace is magnetic. Women are perceptive. They can sense the energy you carry. When you embody abundance, you exude a quiet assurance that says, "I'm fulfilled, and I'm open to sharing my life with the right person." This changes the dynamic entirely. Suddenly, the woman you're interested in isn't just passively receiving your attention, she feels the need to compete for yours. This is because your energy signals that you are a man who values himself, his time, and his life, and that kind of self-assuredness is irresistible. This shift in your demeanor is transformative. It's not about manipulating or playing games, it's about reclaiming your power. It's about realizing that relationships are partnerships, not lifelines. When you no longer act out of fear of loss, you show up as your best self, calm, collected, and charismatic. You stop viewing relationships as something to cling to for survival and start seeing them as opportunities to enhance your already fulfilling life. Abundance isn't just about quantity, it's about quality and mindset. It's the belief that there will always be more opportunities to connect, more chances to grow, and more ways to find happiness. This belief doesn't just make you more attractive, it makes you more resilient and fulfilled as a person. When you embrace abundance, you are no longer driven by the fear of losing one person. Instead, you're motivated by the joy of discovering what life has to offer. The beauty of an abundant mentality is that it frees you from the cycle of overthinking and overanalyzing. You're no longer consumed by doubts or fears about where you stand with someone. This mental clarity allows you to focus on what truly matters, building meaningful connections, pursuing your passions, and living authentically. You stop looking for validation from others and start finding it within yourself. When you shift your focus from scarcity to abundance, you don't just change how others see you, you transform how you see yourself. You begin to recognize your worth and understand that it's not tied to anyone else's approval. This inner strength is not only attractive, but also empowering. It creates a foundation of confidence and self-respect that carries over into every aspect of your life. Remember, abundance is a mindset, not a numbers game. It's about trusting that life is full of opportunities, whether it's meeting new people, exploring new experiences, or growing as an individual. This belief doesn't just enhance your relationships, it enriches your entire life. When you live with an abundance mentality, you become the kind of person who attracts not just romantic partners, but also friendships, opportunities, and success. And that's the real power of abundance. It doesn't just shape how others perceive you, it redefines how you perceive yourself. Chapter 3. Be non-reactive. The moment a woman realizes she can easily provoke you, whether through teasing, emotional outbursts, or mixed signals, you surrender your position of strength. Non-reactivity is not only a cornerstone of Stoicism, but also a key to maintaining control in any relationship. The ability to stay composed, no matter what's thrown at you, communicates emotional resilience and maturity. It's not about ignoring her or being cold, it's about showing that you're steady and unshaken by fleeting emotions or calculated tests. Women often test men, whether consciously or subconsciously. These tests might come in the form of playful teasing, jealousy games, or even emotional ploys designed to elicit a reaction. Why? Because your response tells her everything she needs to know about your character and confidence. If you react defensively or emotionally, it signals insecurity or a lack of control. On the other hand, a calm and composed reaction conveys strength, self-assurance, and emotional stability, traits that women find deeply attractive. The Stoics believed in maintaining inner peace regardless of external circumstances. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Apply this principle to your interactions with women. When she throws a curveball, don't let it shake you. Instead, take a breath, assess the situation, and respond thoughtfully, or sometimes, not at all. Silence can be just as powerful as words, especially when dealing with attempts to provoke you. For example, imagine she brings up an ex during a conversation, perhaps casually or as a way to test your reaction. Many men would feel the urge to compete or assert their superiority, but a non-reactive man doesn't take the bait. Instead, he might respond with a playful smile and say something like, "Sounds like he was an interesting guy." This kind of response is disarming. It shows confidence, humor, and an unwillingness to be drawn into unnecessary drama. Non-reactivity doesn't mean you suppress your emotions or avoid conflict altogether. Instead, it's about choosing how and when to express yourself. If she's upset and tries to escalate an argument, resist the temptation to match her intensity. Speak calmly and acknowledge her feelings without losing your composure. For instance, if she accuses you of not caring, instead of becoming defensive, you could say, "I hear what you're saying. Let's talk about it when we're both calmer." This approach diffuses tension and positions you as the emotionally mature one in the relationship. Another powerful tool in mastering non-reactivity is humor. Humor is disarming and can turn potentially tense situations into moments of connection. If she teases you about something personal, instead of getting defensive, laugh it off or play along. For example, if she mocks your choice of music, you could respond with, "Well, someone has to bring culture to this relationship." Humor not only shows that you're unfazed, but also makes you more endearing and charismatic. Non-reactivity also applies to mixed signals or periods of uncertainty. If she suddenly becomes distant or less communicative, don't immediately bombard her with questions or chase her for validation. Instead, continue focusing on your own life and let her come to you. This demonstrates that your sense of self-worth isn't tied to her behavior. Women are drawn to men who maintain their independence and don't crumble under the weight of ambiguity. The Stoics often emphasized the importance of controlling your emotions rather than letting them control you. In relationships, this means resisting the urge to act impulsively based on temporary feelings. For instance, if she cancels plans last minute, instead of showing frustration or disappointment, respond with calm understanding, "No worries, let's reschedule when it works better." This kind of response not only preserves your dignity, but also shows that you are not easily rattled. Being non-reactive also creates a sense of mystery. When she can't predict how you'll respond, it keeps her intrigued and engaged. Women are naturally curious and drawn to men who don't wear their emotions on their sleeves. By maintaining a level of unpredictability, you become someone she wants to figure out, which deepens her investment in the relationship. However, non-reactivity doesn't mean being indifferent. It's a fine balance between showing that you care and demonstrating that you're not easily swayed. For instance, if she shares a personal story or expresses vulnerability, acknowledge it with genuine empathy. Non-reactivity isn't about shutting down emotionally, it's about staying grounded and intentional in your responses. To master non-reactivity, practice self-awareness and emotional control in your daily life. When faced with stress or challenges, take a moment to pause and assess before reacting. This habit will naturally extend to your interactions with women. Over time, you'll find that remaining calm and composed becomes second nature, regardless of the situation. Women deeply respect and are drawn to men who can be their emotional anchors. In a world full of chaos and uncertainty, your ability to remain steady is a rare and valuable trait. As the Stoics believed, true power lies not in controlling others, but in mastering yourself. By embodying this principle, you not only gain influence in your relationships, but also cultivate a sense of inner strength that radiates outward, making you irresistible. Chapter 4. Be comfortable in the gray area. Modern dating is built on ambiguity. It's a landscape where signals are mixed, intentions are often left undefined, and clarity feels like a luxury. For many men, this gray area triggers anxiety, leading them to overcommunicate, overthink, or rush to define what's happening. But here's the secret: the gray area isn't a problem, it's an opportunity. Women often test your ability to navigate these uncertain waters because it reveals your confidence, emotional resilience, and self-assuredness. If you can thrive here, you'll set yourself apart as someone who is calm, grounded, and deeply intriguing. The Stoics excelled in dealing with uncertainty. They believed that while you can't control external circumstances, you can control your response to them. This principle applies perfectly to the ambiguity of modern relationships. Instead of fighting the gray area or trying to eliminate it, embrace it. Be okay with not having all the answers, and, more importantly, let her sit in that space of uncertainty as well. When you resist the urge to define everything too soon, you create an air of mystery that pulls her in, making her more curious and invested in figuring you out. To succeed in the gray area, you must first let go of the need for constant validation. Many men rush to clarify their intentions or demand clarity from the other person because they fear rejection or misunderstanding. However, this neediness undermines your value and makes you appear insecure. Instead, lean into the unknown. If she's unclear about her feelings or the direction of the relationship, don't pressure her for answers. Instead, show her through your actions and demeanor that you're perfectly fine with ambiguity. This conveys a powerful message: you're confident enough to let things unfold naturally, without forcing them. For example, if she asks where you see things going, respond with calm confidence, saying something like, "I think good things take time, and I'm enjoying where we are now." This type of response does two things. It keeps her intrigued and reassures her that you're not rushing or overly dependent on immediate definitions. It also subtly puts the ball in her court, prompting her to work harder to gain clarity about your intentions. Being comfortable in the gray area also means resisting the temptation to overshare. Many men think that opening up too quickly will bring them closer to a woman, but in reality, it can kill the mystery. The Stoics practiced measured speech. They spoke when necessary and chose their words carefully. Adopt this approach in your interactions. Share enough to keep her engaged, but leave her wanting more. For instance, if she asks about your past relationships or your plans for the future, give thoughtful but concise answers. Let her wonder about the details. This creates intrigue and keeps her emotionally invested. Another key to thriving in the gray area is maintaining a sense of detachment. This doesn't mean you should be cold or unfeeling. It means you should prioritize your peace and self-respect over the outcome of the relationship. If she pulls away or becomes distant, resist the urge to chase her or demand explanations. Instead, continue focusing on your own life, passions, and goals. This not only preserves your dignity, but also demonstrates that you are not easily shaken by uncertainty. Women find this kind of emotional stability incredibly attractive. Remember, the gray area is also where testing happens. Women may push your boundaries or send mixed signals to gauge your reactions. For instance, she might cancel plans last minute or playfully tease your intentions. Instead of reacting emotionally, remain composed. Respond with humor or a calm acknowledgement, showing her that her actions don't dictate your emotional state. This resilience sets you apart as someone who is in control of himself, no matter the situation. The Stoics believed that uncertainty was an inevitable part of life and that embracing it could lead to growth. Apply this mindset to your relationships by viewing the gray area as a chance to develop patience, confidence, and emotional independence. Each moment of ambiguity is an opportunity to demonstrate that you are not ruled by fear or insecurity. Additionally, the gray area can be a tool for creating deeper connections. When you leave certain things undefined, you allow her to fill in the blanks with her imagination. This process makes her more emotionally invested because she's actively engaging with the relationship instead of passively receiving clarity from you. For example, if you're not overly eager to define your feelings early on, she'll spend more time thinking about you and wondering where she stands. This mental engagement is a powerful way to deepen attraction and intrigue. It's important to note that thriving in the gray area doesn't mean playing games or being manipulative. It's about having the self-assurance to let things evolve naturally. When you approach relationships with this mindset, you create a dynamic of mutual curiosity and respect. She'll appreciate your ability to navigate uncertainty with grace and strength, making you stand out in a world where most people crumble under the pressure of ambiguity. Ultimately, the gray area isn't something to fear, it's a space to master. When you're comfortable here, you exude an energy of calm confidence that is incredibly alluring. As the Stoics taught, true strength lies in your ability to remain composed in the face of the unknown. By embracing this principle, you not only gain power over the dynamic, but also over yourself. And that is the ultimate form of influence in any relationship. Chapter 5. Do not deviate. Consistency is the cornerstone of influence, and nowhere is this more evident than in relationships. The Stoics held steadfast to the principle of living in harmony with their values, regardless of external pressures or challenges. They understood that deviation from one's core beliefs leads not only to internal turmoil, but also to a loss of respect from others. When you let go of your identity in an attempt to appease or please someone else, you don't just undermine your own integrity, you erode the trust and admiration that others have for you. In the context of relationships, this concept is crucial. Women respect and are naturally drawn to men who exhibit a strong sense of self. If you constantly adjust your behavior, opinions, or actions to align with what you think she wants, you risk appearing indecisive or insecure. On the other hand, when you maintain consistency in your actions, words, and boundaries, you project strength and reliability, qualities that are universally attractive. For example, if you've set a boundary around certain behaviors or situations, stick to it. Suppose you've communicated that your time for work or personal growth is non-negotiable. If she pushes you to cancel your plans or neglect your goals for her sake, and you give in, you're signaling that your boundaries are flexible. While it may seem like a small concession in the moment, over time, this pattern can diminish her respect for you. Sticking to your values doesn't mean being rigid or unkind, it's about balance. You can show flexibility in areas that don't compromise your core principles. However, when it comes to what truly matters, your ethics, priorities, and goals, you must remain steadfast. For instance, if honesty is a core value for you, never compromise it, even if it means facing discomfort or potential conflict. Women deeply admire men who stand firm in their convictions, as it shows that you're grounded and trustworthy. The Stoics believed in acting according to reason, not emotion. This is particularly important in relationships, where emotions can often cloud judgment. If she tests your limits, intentionally or not, it's critical to respond with clarity and calmness. For example, if she wants you to do something that goes against your principles, such as skipping an important obligation, resist the urge to comply out of fear of disappointing her. Instead, explain your reasoning calmly and assertively. By doing so, you not only maintain your integrity, but also show that you prioritize long-term respect over short-term approval. Consistency in your behavior also fosters predictability and trust. Imagine a scenario where you say you value punctuality, but you're consistently late for dates or meetings. Over time, this inconsistency creates doubt in her mind about whether your actions align with your words. On the flip side, when your behavior consistently reflects your stated values, she feels secure in knowing who you are and what you stand for. This concept extends to how you handle challenges and setbacks. Life is unpredictable, and relationships are no exception. There will be moments when emotions run high, or situations test your patience. In such times, do not deviate from your principles. If you value kindness and respect, don't let anger or frustration lead you to act out of character. By staying consistent, even in adversity, you demonstrate a level of emotional strength and maturity that few possess. A key aspect of not deviating is learning to say no and meaning it. Whether it's declining an invitation that interferes with your priorities or standing firm on a decision you've made, your ability to assert yourself without wavering sends a powerful message. Women may not always agree with your decisions, but they will respect your ability to make and uphold them. It's important to recognize that this consistency doesn't just benefit your relationship with her, it enhances your overall sense of self. When you live in alignment with your values, you experience a sense of inner peace and confidence that radiates outward. This magnetic energy naturally draws people, including women, toward you. However, consistency isn't about being inflexible or stubborn. There's a difference between staying true to your principles and refusing to adapt when the situation calls for it. The Stoics emphasized the importance of reason and adaptability, provided that it doesn't compromise one's core values. For example, if she introduces you to a new perspective or idea that aligns with your principles, being open to it can strengthen the connection between you two. The key is to ensure that any changes you embrace are rooted in authenticity, not an attempt to seek her approval. Finally, remember that not deviating from your values doesn't guarantee that every relationship will succeed, but it ensures that you'll attract the right kind of partner. A woman who truly values and respects you will appreciate your consistency and see it as a sign of strength, not stubbornness. Those who are put off by it are unlikely to be compatible with you in the long term. In essence, living consistently according to your values is a testament to your self-respect and emotional fortitude. It's a commitment to yourself that others can't help but admire. As the Stoics taught, external circumstances should never dictate your internal state. By embodying this principle in your relationships, you create a dynamic of mutual respect, trust, and admiration that forms the foundation of true connection. Chapter 6: Master the Art of Silence. In a world overflowing with noise, mastering the art of silence can set you apart. Silence is not just the absence of words, it's a calculated presence that speaks volumes. The Stoics revered measured speech, emphasizing the importance of speaking only when it added value. They understood that silence is a tool of power, one that demands attention, evokes intrigue, and fosters respect. When it comes to relationships, silence can be just as impactful as words, if not more. It's about learning when to hold back, to let curiosity fill the gaps. Oversharing too soon, whether it's your feelings, plans, or vulnerabilities, can dilute the sense of mystery that makes you compelling. By saying less, you allow her to lean in, eager to learn more about the layers you choose to reveal only in time. For instance, if she asks about your day, avoid the typical over-detailed response. Instead of, "I worked on a project, went to the gym, and met a friend for dinner," you could say, "It was productive, with a couple of highlights." This invites her to dig deeper if she's genuinely interested, and it shifts the dynamic subtly. She becomes the one pursuing the conversation. Silence doesn't mean withdrawing or stonewalling. It's about intentional restraint and confidence. When you allow pauses in conversations, you're signaling that you're comfortable with yourself and don't feel the need to fill every moment with chatter. This quiet self-assuredness can be incredibly attractive as it challenges the typical social rhythm. Most people rush to fill silence. You, on the other hand, command it. Additionally, silence allows you to listen and observe more effectively. Women, like anyone, want to feel heard and understood. By practicing active listening without immediately jumping in to respond or share your own story, you show that you value what she has to say. This not only deepens the connection, but also reinforces your composure and emotional intelligence. Silence can also amplify your words when you choose to speak. When you consistently speak with intention, people pay more attention to what you say because they know it's deliberate. For example, instead of showering her with compliments all the time, offer them sparingly and meaningfully. A well-placed "you look stunning tonight" can have a far greater impact than a constant stream of praise. In the dating phase, silence is especially effective in creating intrigue. If she asks about your long-term plans or your feelings toward her early on, resist the urge to lay everything out. Instead, respond with a smile or a thoughtful, non-committal statement like, "Let's see where this goes." This doesn't mean being evasive, but rather showing that you're not in a rush to define everything. It creates a dynamic where she has to invest effort to uncover your thoughts, making the process more engaging for her. Silence can also be a boundary-setting tool. If she crosses a line or says something disrespectful, responding with silence instead of reacting emotionally can shift the power dynamic. Silence in such moments demonstrates your control over your emotions and your unwillingness to engage in unnecessary drama. It forces her to reflect on her behavior and often leads to a more thoughtful dialogue when she initiates it. However, mastering the art of silence requires balance. Too much silence can come across as disinterest or aloofness. The key is to pair silence with subtle signals of engagement, a slight smile, eye contact, or a reassuring nod. These cues show that you're present, even when you're not speaking. The Stoics believed in the strength of self-discipline, and silence is one of the purest forms of this discipline. Restraining your urge to speak, especially in moments when emotions are high, is a mark of true strength. For instance, if you're in an argument, stepping back and choosing silence over impulsive words can prevent escalation and give both parties the space to cool down. This level of control is not only powerful, but also rare, making it highly respected. Finally, remember that silence is not about playing games or creating unnecessary distance. It's about communicating in a way that aligns with your values, showing confidence without overcompensation. When used effectively, silence becomes a tool for building intrigue, respect, and connection. In relationships, women are often drawn to men who embody composure and restraint, qualities that silence naturally conveys. By mastering this art, you're not just commanding attention, you're fostering an environment where she feels safe, intrigued, and genuinely curious to know more about you. Silence, when paired with intention, isn't empty, it's a presence that speaks louder than words ever could. Chapter 7. Focus on your purpose above all else. The ultimate form of power in any relationship isn't about dominating or controlling someone else. It's about mastering yourself and aligning your life with your own values and goals. The Stoics understood this deeply, teaching that living with purpose is the cornerstone of a fulfilling life. When you focus on your personal growth and aspirations, you exude a magnetic energy that naturally commands respect and admiration. A man with a strong sense of purpose doesn't need to seek validation from anyone, including women. This self-assuredness creates an irresistible aura of confidence. Women are instinctively drawn to men who are not only ambitious, but also unwavering in their pursuit of greatness. Your purpose acts as your anchor, keeping you grounded and centered, no matter what happens in your relationship. But what does focusing on your purpose look like in practical terms? It means dedicating your time and energy to your passions, career, personal growth, and physical health. For example, if you're working toward a major career milestone, let her see your discipline and determination. If fitness is your focus, show consistency in hitting the gym and prioritizing your health. When she witnesses your commitment to these areas, she'll admire your drive and want to be a part of your journey. Ironically, the more you focus on your own life, the more attractive you become. Women want to be with someone who inspires them, a man whose vision and determination make her feel like she's aligning with a winner. But this isn't about pretending to have a purpose just to impress her. It's about genuinely living in alignment with your values and goals. The authenticity of your focus is what makes it compelling. The Stoics believed in the power of prioritizing what you can control and detaching from what you can't. Your purpose is entirely within your control. By focusing on it, you demonstrate an understanding of this principle. When you stop seeking power over her and instead channel that energy into your growth, you'll find that she naturally gravitates toward you. Furthermore, focusing on your purpose doesn't mean ignoring her or your relationship. It's about striking a balance where your goals come first, but you still make room for connection. When you integrate her into your life purpose, rather than making her the center of your world, it strengthens the relationship. She'll feel valued and inspired, knowing that she's part of something bigger without being the sole focus. To achieve this, set clear boundaries around your time and priorities. For instance, if you're working on a passion project, don't drop everything just because she asks for attention. Explain why this project matters to you and invite her to support you in your journey. This not only reinforces your purpose, but also shows her your determination and self-respect. Finally, remember that living with purpose isn't a one-time decision, it's a continuous process. Regularly evaluate your goals, refine your strategies, and stay disciplined in your pursuits. This kind of focus requires resilience and patience, qualities that make you not only more powerful, but also more inspiring. Women respect men who are consistent in their efforts, even in the face of challenges. In summary, focusing on your purpose is the ultimate way to gain power, not over her, but over your own life. When you embody this principle, you create a dynamic where she feels compelled to align with your journey. It's not about manipulation or control, it's about becoming the kind of man who inspires admiration and devotion through his unwavering commitment to self-mastery. And in doing so, you'll find that she doesn't just follow, you lead together. True power in relationships isn't about manipulation, it's about self-mastery. When you embody the principles of Stoicism, you naturally gain influence without ever demanding it. Start by controlling your fear of loss, cultivating abundance, and staying consistent with your values. If this video resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us how these strategies have transformed your interactions. See you in the next episode. Until then, stay stoic and unstoppable.